Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? How's it going? I hope your day is going well. My day's gone fantastic, and so has my lady's day. We spent some time together. We had some other errands to run. And now, once again, Jesus, man, that guy was going like 40 miles an hour. He gunned it down this strip here. See, there are speed bumps here. And speed limit is 15. We're just going to wait for a second. Because I just don't trust erratic drivers. We've got people here doing dog training. They were doing the dog training on the other side, but they are now working on that part of the park behind the senior center. Lots of construction still going on here at Red Morton Park. But anyway, again, hope your day has gone well. My day's been fantastic, and so has Dawn's. And now I'm out and about, another walk with purpose, navigating the modern world with Eli, the Walking with Purpose Live Edition, episode number 854. And this is day 2 of the GNA membership drive. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association, an organization I started all the way back in 2011. And we have come a long way, leaps and bounds over the years. We've had many changes. We used to do in-person networking events, which we plan on doing those again in the future. But we've more so now gone the online route. We've gone the online route. We still help entrepreneurs connect with their next power partners and possible clients, but we also help just anyone with their personal development. Personal development is what we do. That's our main focus. It's personal development, self-help. And many people don't realize the importance of self-help and personal development until they get older. I did not see the value of personal development, self-help, until about my mid-30s. That was just 15 years ago. Maybe at age 34, so about 16 years. Now, had I seen the value of personal development in my late teens or early 20s, I could only imagine how much further ahead I would be on reaching my goals, dreams, and aspirations. And that's one of the main reasons why I do this today, because I don't want people making the same mistakes I made. I'm trying to get even our youth to understand the importance of self-help and personal development, and how you see yourself is how everyone else in the rest of the world is going to see you, right? Everything in your life starts within you. And everything that affects you in life, every outcome that you encounter in life, good, bad, or indifferent, is completely based on how you show up. And you get to choose how you want to show up each and every time. And you have no one else to blame besides yourself regarding how you show up. And once you show up, how you behave, how you either react, overreact, or stay cool, calm, and collected. I've made all those mistakes many, many times. Even at age 50, I still make those mistakes. I don't make them as often, but mistakes are going to happen. Occasional mistakes, no problem. But if at some point you don't correct the underlying mistakes and learn from your mistakes and move on to bigger and better things, you're going to be stuck in the rut. And until I was in my early to mid 30s, I was stuck in a rut. I didn't really know what my purpose was. Yeah, I've always worked, right? And made money in some capacity, whether it's in the corporate world, working a W-2 job for somebody else, or being self-employed. But that doesn't mean I was always happy with what I was doing. I got a dude coming here, so I'm gonna wait. And I firmly believe that one of the main issues that holds people back is not enjoying what they do for work, not enjoying how they make their money. It is important to enjoy what you do for a living. Excuse me. Yeah, whatever. It's all part of the game, right? It's all part of being a public figure and being out in the public and being live. It's all good. Today, on day 2 of the GNA membership drive, Tia, how are you doing? Good to see you, Eli, with the exclamation point. Thank you, Tia. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. I hope you've had a wonderful day. So today for day 2 of the GNA membership drive, we're going to be talking about a very famous phrase in the Bible that I wrote out in the title in plain English. Love your neighbor as yourself. The actual Bible passage is love thy neighbor as thyself. I'm sure you've heard of that many times. Right, Tia? Or anyone else that's here? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay? Translation, in plain layman's terms, love your neighbor as yourself. Basically, the purpose is to treat others the way you'd want to be treated. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated. A huge part of being successful in life, from what I've learned in 50 years, is treating people the way you'd want to be treated, whether it's for business purposes or for personal purposes, such as, dating relationships and marriages and stuff like that, right? When you treat people the way you'd want to be treated, which hopefully you want to be treated nice, because you might be someone that has a few screws loose and you might get pleasure from pain, even your own pain, right? I guess they call those people sadists, right? Typically, sadists get pleasure from other people's pain, but sometimes they even get pleasure from their own pain, right? So some weirdos might come out and say, well, I want to be treated like shit, so I'm going to treat people like shit. Well, if that's how you want to be treated, you got some more serious issues than I can help you with. I'm going to refer you to a therapist and a psychologist, and you need some serious, serious mental help, right? But for the most part, people want to be treated nicely. And as we all know, what goes around comes around. What you put out into the universe, you get back, right? So if you want to be treated nicely, you should treat other people nicely, everyone nicely. You should not be mean to anyone. You should not be hateful to anyone. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion in the real world or online. We all have differences of opinion or differences of opinions. Even two people that are dating or married that were meant to be together and have lots of similarities, which is why they're together, are going to have differences as well. It doesn't matter how well you know someone, how well you like someone, how much you like someone or how much you love someone, right? It doesn't matter. You're never going to agree on everything. You're going to have differences of opinions. That doesn't mean you have to fight. That doesn't mean you have to shove each other's opinions down each other's throats and yell at each other and force each other to accept each other's opinions or else. No. You just say, hey, babe. Hey, dude. Hey, man. Hey, gal. I understand where you're coming from, and I respect your opinion, but I disagree with it. I respectfully disagree. There's no better way to respond to that if you want to believe and treat others the way you want to be treated, or love your neighbor as yourself, or as the Bible states, love thy neighbor as thyself. Right? Tia says, yes, good topic. Thank you. The sun's about to set right now. We are what? 18? No, we're 13 minutes in. The sun will be setting any minute, so time to take the shades off. Now, before we continue, let me just remind you all about the GNA, Genuine Networking Association membership drive. This is day 2. I don't do photos, dude. All right, we are back live. We are back live. That dude came up to me and said, can I get a photo? I said, I don't do photos. I'm recording a video. And he said, please? I'm like, I don't do photos. What the hell, man? I don't do photos. And if you wanted a photo, just because you happen to see me online, or you just want to be a troll, it's a different story. I can't do photos while I'm live. I'm doing the show. I can't do that. It's all good. You know, in life, you're going to encounter many things. You're going to weather many storms, right? You just have to learn how to deal with it. I've learned how to work this mobile app like I own it. Like I know how to go offline and come back. I know how to mute. All with just one simple YouTube live streaming app. And you got to be ready the moment's notice to go offline if you're live. If you have distractions that you don't want to hit your replay, right? And also, when they're younger kids, you don't know if they're under 13. If they're under 13, they're protected by COPPA regulations with the Federal Trade Commission. If you folks don't remember, there was a big deal about that a few years back. The FTC fined YouTube for the way they were handling and presenting and selling ads on kids' content and sucking kids in and stuff like that. So they made some changes, and everybody thought that was the end of YouTube, but it wasn't the end of YouTube. What happened was the people that were creating kids' content can't really monetize it anymore, which is kind of a good thing, because I think, certain people that were monetizing the kids' content were kind of creepy. And I think that's more so what the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, was concerned with. So it's all good. But anyway, so the GNA membership drive, plain and simple, make people aware of this channel here, GNA2, Genuine Life Personal Development, and also go in the description and make people aware of the main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. That's the pre-recorded channel, but I'm doing live streams from the studio there for now till the end of the year. And any day now, I will probably be doing a live stream on the main channel. Make people aware of those channels and just have people subscribe and bang the bell and select the notifications. And come and participate whenever you want. It's free to join the GNA. Now, between now and sometime next week, I'm going to be working on a landing page on the genuinenetworkingassociation.org website, where we're going to be asking people to take the GNA Positivity Pledge. And what is the GNA Positivity Pledge? It is basically you going on our website, entering your email, and agreeing to take the Positivity Pledge. More on entering your email in a second here. So the Positivity Pledge is basically you saying, I'm going to participate when I can on the GNA YouTube channels and other events the organization will put on in the future. Give me a second here. Give me 1 second. I think people are running like a meditation group here. Oh well. It's not a bad idea, actually. Meditating is fantastic. I think that's something that I want to bring to the GNA, is meditation. I may do some meditation streams. Anyway, I'll figure out a program for meditating, because meditation is a great way to, clear your mind, body, and soul of all toxins and of all stress, and put you in a relaxed state so you can think clearly. So I'll start working on that and update you folks with what I come up with. I'll talk with Dawn about it tonight. Dawn loves meditation. Let's see. But yeah, all you have to do is, when the landing page is up, agree to rid yourself of all negativity. That includes negativity on social media, including YouTube. Rid yourself of drama shit show streams out here where you have certain creators attacking other creators as their content and as their way of making money. Agree to be kind to everyone, agree to treat others the way they want to be treated, etc. Now, as far as entering your email, you are not going to be spammed with your email address. An email address will be required and you will need to verify your email. And I understand there are going to be people that are going to be trolling and they're going to enter fake emails and verify fake emails. Listen, you're always going to get that. That happens to anyone. But one of the best ways to grow a business is to create an email list. And I have an email list already, but I want to continue growing it with new people. Email is one of the best ways to keep in touch with the people that support your organization or your business. In this case, my business is an organization. We're a cause-based organization. So all I'll tell you is this, is that by entering your email, verifying it, and agreeing to take the GNA Positivity Pledge, you will become a part of our network free of charge. And you will not be forced into buying anything. You will have the option to donate down the road or anytime. That's your choice. That's the beauty of all this, is that everything we do is practically free of charge. But you do have the option to donate. And typically when people get value from something and it changes their life for the better and even makes them more money than they were making, they typically feel that it's right to kick something back to the people that helped them get there by way of donation. It's kind of like a try before you buy type of thing, right? Now, will we solicit a few programs every now and then? Sure, but you're not obligated to join those programs. We're going to be running conference calls. And some of those conference calls will be free. Some of them will go into greater depth and more personalized help. Those will have a small fee, right? And we're going to communicate all that to you through email. And there are many people on the internet that think if you enter your email anywhere, that person is just going to spam you and try to sell you a pipe dream. Now, that is true in some cases, but that's not true in all cases. In our case, you have my promise here. I'm here live showing my face, and you're hearing my voice, and you're looking at my eyes. You have my promise. I'm not going to overwhelm you with emails and try to force you to anything. I'm just going to make you aware occasionally what we're doing. And if you want to participate, that is your choice. And with the emails, all you have to do, if you don't want to respond, you can ignore it. You don't have to look at it. It's, they're very easy to filter out. So I'm hoping to have that set up over the next few days, but by sometime next week. I did a poll like this many years ago when I felt a good friend of mine I met on here. His name was John. He used to run a channel called MGTOW's Freedom. He used to live in Northern California, on the other side of Northern California, closer to Reno, Nevada. So he was about 5 hours away from me. But I used to love his content, and his YouTube channel was shut down. And I created a landing page. I think I did that on my coach.eliasmelas.com website, which I still have up. I'm going to be revamping that. Right now, that site is still up, but I'm going to be revamping that soon as well, and more information on that at some point between now and the end of the year. But I did a petition for John, and I was looking to get a ton of petitions signed to send to YouTube to try to get his channel back. Well, we got quite a bunch of them. I think we got over 1,000 signed. That was nowhere nearly enough. And no amount of petitions I've realized is going to, help YouTube or change YouTube's mind when they shut you down for a terms of service violation. But, I sincerely was trying to help him out. But at the same time, I met a lot of great people. They entered their email, and I was able to connect with them, and some of them were around for a while, and some of them are still around, and that's the way it goes. Capturing people's emails is not a dirty thing. It's a way to sign up for an organization if you believe in the organization, if you trust the organization. And again, like I said, it's a way to keep in touch. It's a way for us to be able to send everyone a mass email every now and then and make them aware of what's going on, because you might want to participate with something. Now, I'm also in progress. Back in the days when I ran the GNA in person, I used to have constant contact. And there used to be a program. Somebody knew someone that worked at Constant Contact, and they connected me through the network, and I was able to get the business version of Constant Contact for free for like 3 or 4 years, as long as I was promoting it through the network. Hey, Real Talk with Lauren, how are you doing? Maybe one of these days we'll remoderate you. It's been a while. I know you and I, we had some experiences with a lot of things out here on YouTube, but you know what? I think we're beyond that. Yeah, Lauren, honestly, if you're open to doing some live streams, I'm open to coming on your channel and doing an interview there if you want, and I can have you over here. And maybe we can get you more involved with the GNA. Because I think you've always been the type of person that believes in positivity and just wants the best for everyone. But I think you, along with myself and several other innocent people, got caught up in the fake instigated drama YouTube game because some people were able to play us and use us as content for years until we figured out what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Real Talk with Lauren, meet Tia. And Lauren, here's the thing. Lauren, if I've known you for a long time, and I know for the most part you're a good person, but you've had your moments, and so have I. And if we can trust you, we may be willing to bring you in to our women's group. But we have to trust you, because the last thing we want is other people reaching out to you and sharing private voice messages with YouTube. We want to avoid that at all costs. If that ever happens again with anyone, I will blast them publicly myself on YouTube. I don't care if I have to do it on a sock account. I will not let that happen ever again. I'm sorry for being so upfront, Lauren, but we have made great progress moving forward positively and getting this vision finally going. And we want to keep adding people that are going to be nice and decent, right? And we want to make sure we're not bringing in people that are pretending to be nice and playing us, and then behind the scenes they're selling us out to the haters, right? I'm sorry for having to be so cautious, but we're not moving backwards. I agree. I have a BA in psychology. Never did finish my master's. Well, you should be using that. That's a gift, Lauren. I don't have a psychology degree, but I try to understand psychology as best as possible. And that's something that you could bring into the organization, You're actually educated on this. And that's a great thing. But I will reach out to you behind the scenes. And I'm just letting you know, Lauren, you know the same old people. Not all of them. A lot of them have moved on. But the same old people, some of them will chastise you or troll you if I'm there live with you. You know how it goes, right? And quite frankly, I don't care if they troll. I don't care if you let them talk. I can ignore them. I just want to focus on what we're talking about, I want to focus on the positive things we're trying to accomplish and move forward. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I want to help people like yourself. Who cares what they do? I don't. Not anymore. Well, that's good. Like, Lauren, do you feel that it is your purpose in life to help others better themselves based on your past experiences and based on the mistakes you made and learn from your mistakes? You feel like the same way I do, that you want to teach people at a younger age to learn what you and I didn't learn initially. Yes, because of what I've been through. Right, exactly. That's what it all boils down to. I'm really, really glad to see you back around. And again, if things go well, we'll remoderate you. We've slowly been remoderating people, and I'm glad we didn't remoderate some people that we brought back because we had to remove certain people again. But I think you're one of the few that's always been very reasonable. Hey, by the way, do you still have the same roommate? I forgot. What was that guy's name? Do you still have the same roommate? I'm just kind of curious. What was his name? I can't. Roger, right? Are you still roommates with Roger? If you are, that would be, wow, man. That would be interesting. Because you've always had a good relationship, good friendship with that guy. Gotta go eat dinner, get a hold of me, have a good talk. Well, thank you. Yeah, just let me know before you go. Is Roger still around? I'm curious. We're on lap number 2, folks. Okay. Or maybe she's gone already. Okay. We'll ask next time. Thank you for stopping by, Lauren. Much appreciated. Real Talk with Lauren. She commented in the comment section the other day, and we've been talking, and yeah, it would be nice to actually do some real content for once and not have distractions from many of the people that, many of the same people that created distractions for myself in the past did the same to Lauren, the same exact people, the same group. But here's to new beginnings and a great start to a wonderful new future. All right, so we're probably going to do 3 laps tonight. We are at 35 minutes. So, love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your neighbor as yourself. How difficult is that? Right? It's only as difficult as you make it. You know, and there are people out here on YouTube, social media, and in the real world that hear someone like me talk about these basic principles. And these people, in their heads, they're thinking, this is basic stupid shit, Eli. This is 3rd grade level shit. So what value are you really bringing to people? Well, here's the value to those of you that are saying this is 3rd grade level material. You're right about that. The problem is you can't even comprehend at a 3rd grade level. So I've got to sit here and dumb things down because the average everyday person struggles to understand the most basic elements and aspects of life. And that's because you're going through a lot of stuff. Maybe you're traumatized, and right now, you know, you don't see anything positive in your near future, right? But I want to turn that around. And talking about even 3rd grade level stuff repetitively is going to keep that top of mind. It's going to keep that top of mind for you. And at some point, you might get so annoyed hearing it over and over again that you're going to be like, fuck it. You know what? I'm tired of fighting this shit. I'm tired of fighting Eli and his stupid ass 3rd grade level material. When you get to that point, you're going to be like, damn, you know what? It's just not worth it anymore. And you know what? I'm wasting too much energy on this. Maybe he makes sense. I know a lot of my material is basic. That's not why I do it. Again, the reason why I'm teaching the basics is because most people don't understand the basics. Or they know that these basics exist, but for one reason or another, they're not able to live their life with these basic essential things, right? Be right back. Be right back. All right. We are back live. We are back live. So I had to go off the air for a second. There were a couple guys with some dogs there. Tia says, you would think a person would feel good treating others well. I do. Being unkind constantly has to affect someone's happiness. Of course. Think about it, Tia. People that treat others unkindly, right? Or people that treat others with disrespect, hatred, etc., right? They're purely behaving that way because they're unhappy with themselves. That's the only logical explanation. And that's the psychological explanation too. All psychologists have said the same thing about this. People that are angry are going to project their anger onto others. And people that are happy are going to project their happiness onto others. People project onto others how they feel about themselves. It's a known thing. It's a known thing. Right? People project onto others how they feel about themselves deep within, right? I project every day. Like a lot of people on YouTube have said, Eli, you project all the time. Of course I do. I project positivity and happiness. Absolutely. Now, have I had my moments of negativity at times and projected that? Sure, I think everybody does. But I think some people, or I feel some people do it more often than others, or more often than not. Everyone's going to have a bad day every now and then, but you don't have bad days every day. If every day is a bad day and you're projecting negativity every day, that's not having a bad day. That's the way you're choosing to live your life, right? And what we want to do here at the GNA is help you overcome that negativity and learn to realize and understand that you can choose to live a more positive life no matter what's going on in your life, no matter how little you have or how much you have, no matter what. We want to make you aware that you are choosing to live your life the way you're living it. You're choosing to react the way you're reacting. You're choosing to behave the way you're behaving, right? It's a choice. It's a personal choice. And from what I've learned, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have a psychology degree like Lauren or anyone else that has one. Respect to those that do. What I do have is experience and common sense. And I've just learned to realize over the course of the last several decades of my life that there are a lot of miserable people on this planet. And I'm not saying that to attack you or to be mean. What I'm saying is you can turn that around. In my younger days, I used to be miserable in my teens and early to mid-20s. Yeah, I had fun times with my friends, and I wasn't 100% miserable all the time. But I was miserable more than not. Like, I was going through a lot of emotional issues in my teens and early to mid-20s, right? And in order for me to turn that around, I had to own up to the fact that I have issues. I was projecting my insecurities onto other people. I was jealous and envious of other people. And I had to get over that, because until you get over jealousy and envy of other people and just focus on becoming the best version of yourself you can be, you're going to be struggling. You're going to be struggling in the self-love department. And with no self-love, everything else falls apart. Everything else fails. TS says, then there's a lot of miserable people that probably need help. Something has to be interfering with their mental health. Well, Tia, and this is something we could talk about with Lauren, because real talk with Lauren, okay, has a psychology degree. She could be like our resident, psychologist or whatever, right? She can shed more light onto that. But if I had to give my opinion, because I'm not a doctor, I'm going to give my opinion based on what I've seen and what I've experienced, okay? All these people that are projecting their insecurities have unresolved trauma. All it boils down to, from what I've learned in 50 years of life, people that project their insecurities online, offline, however they do it, if they're more in a negative state than positive state on a regular basis, it's because they have unresolved trauma and they're not willing to talk about it, to work through it. And they're not willing to get help to work through it, whether it be by a psychologist, psychiatrist, maybe a coach, maybe following more positive content than negative content, right? Or maybe creating more positive content instead of creating negative content. Like a lot of these people, they're living their misery on social media and in the real world. And that's what they do. They are living their misery. And a lot of times these people live their misery vicariously through other people they wish they could be like. And when I say they wish they could be like other people, I'm not talking about monetarily. Forget about the money aspect. I'm talking about someone could be broke as hell and be happy. What I'm saying is a lot of people live vicariously through other people's perceived happiness. Your bank account has nothing to do with this. Where you live has nothing to do with this. All this has to do with is how you feel about yourself, right? For me, how I feel about myself, I love who I am. And I'm very happy with myself. Do I have my moments? Sure. But you know what? I have self-love and self-respect, right? And that drives a lot of people crazy because they can't stand it when other people have that amount of self-love and happiness and they don't. And some people, when they see other people happy, they try to knock them down to their level because then they can relate and it makes them feel better. It makes them feel better and less miserable, even though it backfires and it actually makes them become more miserable. Hi, Just Amanda. Hi, Eli and Tia. How are you doing, Just Amanda? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Just Amanda says, how does one go about achieving self-love? What does that include? That's a great question, Just Amanda. And in my honest opinion, that's going to be different for everyone. I can share with you how I learned to better love myself. And then we can go from there. Basically, when I was in my late 20s, I decided to make changes in my life. I decided to show the world who I really am. I was never really in bad shape, but I got into the best shape of my life in my early 30s. I started wearing better clothes. Not saying I wore bad clothes in my 20s and teens, but I wasn't really into that designer stuff. When I got into my early 30s, I was really into designer clothing. And with the advent of Amazon and all that, and being able to just get things shipped within 1 to 2 days and get good deals on Calvin Klein shirts and Calvin Klein jeans, right? And now Under Armour apparel and Adidas and all that, I started to up my game because I started to realize, Just Amanda, the problem is not the other people. The problem is me. It's how I felt about myself. I needed to do things that were going to make me feel better about myself. And what made me feel better is starting to take better care of myself and seeing the results, right? You know, in my life, and sorry, when I get out of this dark area, I'll put the camera back on me. Well, that dog is not here. You know, most of my life, you know, my weight's gone up plus 10, 20, even plus 30, right? Plus minus 10, plus minus 20, plus minus 30, right? In my late 20s, I was about 30 pounds heavier. So, you know, I was about maybe like 195 or 200 or something. And I got back down to 170. And then I Like I said, I started to buy better clothing. And then, I started to grow a goatee, and then later on I changed it to the beard I have today. I started doing things that made me feel better about myself. And the truth of the matter is, it's not all about physical appearance, but I'm not going to lie. When you know you look good, you feel better about yourself. So when you look good, you feel better about yourself, and it shows. And people can see that. Now, when I got myself in really good shape in my early 30s and started wearing better clothing and started more so doing my beard and this and that, right? I didn't go out there and act like I was all that. I was humble. I would go out there and I was just the same person. I was just Eli. Hey, this is Eli. Nice to meet you. Right? That's the time where I started to, my mid-30s, I started to do the networking thing with the GNA and other events to grow my insurance business after getting my insurance licenses in my mid-30s. Tia says, hi, just Amanda. Hello, Tia. Good to see you, says just Amanda. Wonderful. Oh, there's a light over there now. Oh, wow. Awesome. We got some more lights actually turned on today. There are lights here at the senior center, and there are lights up ahead. You can kind of see me, but anyway, third and final lap. So I didn't go out and show off that, okay, I'm in great shape and I have nice clothes. I would just go out there and just be a decent, down-to-earth, cool dude. And I wasn't like overly nice, like a kiss ass, but I wasn't a jerk either. You gotta go out there and just be cool, be laid back. Don't go out there and be overly nice and kiss people's asses because then they think you're fake. But don't be an asshole or a jerk or a bitch or an arrogant, pompous ass. Be like a cool, cocky, playful, funny type of... If you're a guy, be cocky, playful, funny. If you're a woman, just be playful and funny, right? And that's it, right? So, getting myself healthier, wearing better clothing, right? It all contributed to making me feel better about how I saw myself. And I learned to really, really love the person I was becoming. And now, at this point, I've learned to accept and love who I am. So again, it's not all about looks. But to a certain extent, looks do matter, because if you're overweight or unhealthy, that's going to make you not feel as good about yourself or good at all. That's going to make you feel some insecurities. If you're not as healthy as possible and look as good as possible, you're going to be insecure that people aren't going to want to be around you. If you're trying to find a dating partner or whatever, or just being around people in general, you're going to be afraid of being criticized and stuff, right? And for women, from what I've noticed, women are naturally more insecure than normal men. I say normal men because we have a lot of beta males in this world. But when compared to normal men and normal women, women are always going to have some smaller insecurities, even if they look as good as possible, they're dressed as best as possible, and they're as confident as possible. Women naturally and biologically are going to have a small level of insecurities, and that's okay. But if you're not taking care of yourself as best as possible, those small insecurities, from what I've noticed, they get amplified. And the more insecure you come off, even as a woman, you're going to repel people from wanting to be around you. You're going to even repel guys that are going to want to date you, at least the guys that you want to date, because there are some beta males that no matter, no disrespect, no matter how messed up you are, they'll give anyone a chance. But you women don't want those guys. You want the good, down to earth, decent guys. And those good, down to earth, decent guys, they have more options with women because they're much more rare, supply and demand, right? Self-care and self-awareness are very important. Also being compassionate with yourself. True. Does it make sense so far? What I've been saying? What else would you like my thoughts on? Tia says, I agree with you, Amanda. Self-care is a biggie. It's the biggest thing. All right, we got people coming this way, so I've really got to go around. Give me a second, folks. Just Amanda, I'll get to your message here in just a second. Oops. A lot of people are coming in and out right now. Just Amanda, I also believe that if you carry shame or embarrassment, it is very hard to love yourself, so you have to forgive yourself first. Yeah, this is the thing, and I'll tell you, just Amanda, this whole YouTube experience has not been a bad thing altogether. It's been challenging, and some people that can't seem to get my name out of their mouth, yeah, they made it a little more challenging, but at the same time, it's made me a much stronger person. Because I've learned to be shameless, and you're right. You see, if you're actually shameless, you remember the song, did you ever listen to country? I think you're around our age, around my age, Don's age, and Tia's age, 40s, 50s, right? If you listen to 90s country, Garth Brooks had a song called Shameless, right? He's saying, I'm shameless, right? The only way to, especially if you're going to create content on YouTube or social media with a lot of anonymous people trolling and hating, and even regular people that show their face or you know who they are and they're trolling, you have to do this with no shame, because if you have shame and you're worried about, go ahead. No, that's okay, no problem. I'm trying to avoid a lot of people. That was a very nice lady and her kid. She apologized. No big deal. We're all just trying to share the same park, and it's all good, right? Keep it positive, right? It's all good. No big deal. But being shameless is the key. And here's the thing. You can't come out and just say you're shameless if you're not. You gotta say you're shameless and be shameless. Like right now, honestly, I don't give a shit what anyone says about me. And that's when you know you're truly shameless. Because here's the thing, you know, if people can realize that you have a lot of shame and you're trying to hide things, they're going to try to expose you. And this isn't just on YouTube. This happens in the real world. You know, when I was growing up, you know, one of the things that made me curious about the people I became friends with is learning everything about them. and learning the truth about them and finding out, hey, what are they hiding? What are they not telling me about themselves? Because everybody has deep, dark secrets they don't want to share because they feel shame, right? But when you're able to talk about all of those deep, dark secrets, even publicly, like on YouTube and stuff, and have no shame, that's when you know. That's when you know you're truly shameless and none of this will affect you. Let's see. Tia says, good point, Amanda. I have guilt. I'm in therapy myself for some issues. I'm not ashamed at all. Tia, absolutely. Guilt is a life stopper. And Tia, if it's not too personal, if it is, please, you don't have to publicly state it. But if it's not too personal, what do you have guilt for? Because you are a wonderful person. You've been through a lot in your life. You've recently lost your amazing husband, God rest his soul. And you're doing an amazing job coping with it. And I'm really glad that you found us here at the GNA. Even before, we were always GNA. It's just that I used to run this as the Coach Eli brand, which was always a subsidiary of the GNA. But ever since you've been participating here with us and you become our friend, it's been amazing to have you around. It's been a great pleasure to have you around because you're a genuine, real, and authentic person. And one of the best ways to work through issues that we all have, because we all have issues, is to all get together as a group and encourage each other and support each other. Having positive support groups are extremely important. That's a big part of what we do over here. It's a big part of what we do over here. It's a beautiful night at the park. It was 72 degrees when I popped out of the car. When did we start this? 62 minutes ago. Almost about to turn 63 minutes now, an hour and 3 minutes ago. So it's probably about 67 degrees right now, 68, and I've been walking around, so I've warmed up. It's a beautiful night for a walk. It's a beautiful night for a walk. But yeah, just Amanda, I really hope that answers your question. Yeah, you got to take a look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, look, you either love what you see or you don't. And if you don't love what you see in the mirror, even physically, that can affect you. You can and should do something about it because that will play a tremendous part in helping you feel better about yourself. And how you feel about yourself, like you're saying, it's the most important thing. And if you don't feel good about yourself, other people are going to be turned off and repelled and not want to be around you. And then that's going to make you feel like, oh, you're not worthy and no one likes me. And it's all the same stuff we go through, when we're in grammar school and stuff. Oh, she has cooties or he has cooties or they don't like, right? And when you're a grown adult, the last thing you want to feel is unaccepted. Sandra Palacio, hey Eli, hi Amanda, hi Tia, hey Sandra, how are you doing? Sandra, you've been trying to send me some messages behind the scenes, and you keep having issues, huh? It's all good, Sandra. Take your time. How you doing? I hope your night's going well. Thanks, I do, says Just Amanda. Yeah, you're very welcome, Just Amanda. Tia says, I haven't, they won't go through. I don't know why, Sandra. I don't know. Maybe your phone's low on memory. I don't know. Mine go through just fine. I don't know. Tia, you're getting my messages, right? Tia says, hi, Sandra. Tia says, it's what happened when my brother passed. Then my husband died quickly after. I feel I didn't do enough. Also, the way he died was strange. I feel I could have done more. Yeah. I understand that, Tia. That's a rough situation. It's a similar situation, like I've explained before many times, and I'll briefly share it here again, like I have, regarding my father. 6 months before he passed away, I came clean with him, and had I not done that, my father would have gone to the grave with me carrying all this guilt and stuff. And I still listen, even though I had a chance to come clean with my dad 6 months before he passed away, and no one knew he was going to pass away, I still carry guilt, but I've learned to manage it. I've learned to just say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. And my father would have wanted for me to move past this so I can become the man he wanted me to become, right? And make him proud, right? And I think the best way to look at it, Tia, is to accept the situation and say, hey, I did everything I could. And if, I didn't do certain things, it wasn't because I didn't want to. It was because the circumstances didn't allow it to, right? Sometimes circumstances don't allow you to do what you want to do, and then you still feel guilt because you feel like, oh, you could have pushed harder or tried more, right, to make it happen. But sometimes no matter how hard you try to help people or try to push through to break those barriers, it just doesn't pan out. And that's not your fault. You can't blame yourself for that. But I understand the kind of person you are. You love everyone, and you feel like when anything goes wrong in the world, it's your fault in some way, and you want to do whatever you can to make it right. I get it. You're like me. You've got the Jesus Messiah complex. And that's what it boils down to. And it's not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing, and it's very rare because there aren't a lot of people like us. But having that Jesus Messiah complex can be very taxing on the good people like you and me, because we always feel we could have done better even if we did the best that we could, right? Does that make sense? Voice messages, no. Text is okay. Tia says she's getting both. Tia says it's not that I wouldn't talk about it with the group. We all have been busy. Just Amanda, in reality, they work just like I do. They just choose not to save their money. Sandra says, Amanda, it's the same with me. My one sister is literally a millionaire. She won't help anyone. I will. So they come to me. My sister says no. That's really sad that your sister's a millionaire, Sandra, and she won't help people. Does she donate to any, charitable organizations like nonprofits? Does she ever tip, or is she just very stingy with money? Some people are like that. When I was growing up, and I started working, I really valued my money. And I would tip, but I would tip the minimum amount. And then my brother started calling me a cheap ass. So my brother would always tip 20, 25, sometimes 30%. And that made me open up my eyes and ears. And I started to realize I'm not taking other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration. I'm not taking the feelings, wants, and needs of servers that are making minimum wage and they're trying to survive and provide for their family based on my tips because they're getting paid minimum wage, which is all they're required to get paid by law. And then you start to realize that, hey, they're providing you a service so you don't have to cook and clean at home, right? And from that point on, I started tipping minimum 20%, sometimes 25 or 30% if the service was exceptional. Shit service, I would tip 15%. Back in the days, I would tip like 10% everywhere I would go. Initially, in my very younger days. And I realized that I wasn't taking other people's feelings, wants, and needs into consideration. I was being stingy, right? I wasn't putting myself in their shoes. And that's a huge part of the problem nowadays is that most people out there nowadays don't put themselves in other people's shoes. The actions that most people take towards others don't take into consideration if someone was taking those same actions on them. Do unto others as you would want done upon you. Do unto others as you would want done upon you. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated, right? Give me a second, be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Live, we are back live. So, before I move on, like I was saying, it's the same thing as the title. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Right? People that don't treat others the way they want to be treated, they have unresolved issues, unresolved trauma. That's all it boils down to. There are two types of people. People that treat people the way they want to be treated, and people that treat people the opposite of the way they want to be treated and feel that they're entitled to treat you like shit when they want to be treated nicely, right? You have two choices. It's up to you. But some people can't help the way they show up. They're so traumatized, and depending on how far their trauma stems or what they're doing to mask their trauma, right? It can affect them. And it does affect them. Until they work through that and get the help that they need, and they're open to the help, they're never going to change. But see, just Amanda, I appreciate you coming here and asking, how does one love themselves? To some people, that may be a basic question. Maybe so. To others, they're truly struggling with it. I struggled with it. Everyone struggles with it. It's something people struggle with, and the way to work through it is to have support, is to have a good group of people encourage you to love yourself no matter what. And if you don't love what you see in the mirror, then you can turn it around. You can start walking every day. You can start hitting the treadmill every day. You can cut your calories. If you need to lose 30 or 40 pounds, you can do that in 2 or 3 or 4 months. You can go to a gym. After that, you can buy better clothing if you don't have better clothing, because if you lose the weight, you're going to need new clothes. Get some new clothes. If you're single and you take care of yourself in that way, then you're going to attract a better quality mate because you're taking better care of yourself, right? And you're feeling better about yourself, right? Now, those are just examples. I don't know what you look like. That's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But I think you get what I'm saying. That was a great question. My one niece just needs to adjust her lifestyle. Just Amanda. They're going on trips to Europe but need money for their car loan. Stingy with money, and my family isn't asking for thousands, a couple hundred or so, and she won't help them. I asked no one for anything. Sandra, family will bankrupt even if the best saver sometimes. Well, that is what I have learned. Yeah, it happens. Sandra says, my one niece just needs to adjust her lifestyle. I read that. Tia, I totally understand the money thing. People always came to Ray and I. Now I don't even see them anymore. Wow. Some of those people treat others nicely for a reason. It's not always genuine, says Sandra. Of course, it happens on YouTube too. How many people on YouTube, Sandra, have pretended to be nice and loyal to people just for money? It's just really sad. It's really sad what many people will do nowadays to make money. And it's even more sad when people have money and they're not willing to, give some of the money back to help others that are in need. Give me a second. All right, we are back live. Sandra says people will turn on you in a heartbeat if their love or friendship isn't genuine. That's true, Sandra. I do understand some people just aren't there yet. I feel you need a good support system, says Tia. Too many to count, says Tia. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What we have here, at the GNA, we've got about 7 to 10 people that are loyal and supportive and genuine, right? We don't have the biggest audience, and we're growing it there. And when we get 10 more or 20 more people that are just like you, Sandra, just like you, Tia, just Amanda and others, right? You're going to start to see some really, really good, positive, big changes here. And you're going to start to see a shift for the better towards positivity on YouTube and the internet. But yes, you said, Tia, some people just need a good support system. I'll take it one step further. I think everybody needs a good support system. No matter how good you are, there are very successful people financially, and they're mentally and emotionally miserable and fucked up, right? As a matter of fact, what I have noticed is people that have money are more miserable than people that don't have money, or at least a lot of money, right? Like Tia, you, Sandra, myself, probably you, just Amanda. We may not have a whole lot of money. We have enough to survive, but we're not rich. We don't have a lot of excess, right? But we're happier than people that have excess money. And yeah, or have lots of money. We're happier than they are because money doesn't buy you happiness. And a lot of times in this modern world, the way that people have made a lot of money has been by pissing a lot of people off. There are a lot of people on this platform that have made a good amount of money over the last several years, but they pissed off a lot of people, and they played a lot of people to make that happen. That's what I hear the farmers saying, Sandra. Oh yeah, Eli, I know that they are nice because they need people, but turn on them quickly. I see it in the community. Heck, I know slop is expensive these days. Yeah, Sandra. I've sent you some messages. I don't know why you couldn't hear them. I forwarded you messages that I sent to Tia. I don't know if that's causing the issue. Normally, that's not an issue. But there's, I'll tell you this, Sandra. I've seen a lot of interesting things lately on YouTube in many communities. And all I got to say, Sandra, is what goes around comes around. What you put out, you get back. How you treat people is how they're going to treat you back. And if you're going to fool people for a long period of time to get them to believe in you, to donate to you and pay your bills, when they eventually figure out how much you're paying them, they're going to feel slighted, and they're going to feel used, and they're going to feel unhappy, and they're going to hopefully they're just going to walk away and not cause any issues or more issues. But what happens when people get slighted, especially over money? They're upset and they want to retaliate. It's a natural feeling, right? So it's almost like the people that abuse people in this way, eventually get what they deserve. See, in life, everyone eventually gets what they deserve. If you agree in life, everyone eventually gets what they deserve, put a 1 in the chat. Give me a second. I will be right back. All right, we are back live. We are back live. There are lots of people everywhere today. All right, well, maybe I can walk this way just for a few more minutes. We are at 82 minutes, an hour and 22 minutes. One yes in some form. TS says 1. Yeah. No, in life, people always get what they deserve, and they always get back what they put out. And it doesn't happen right away. In the long run, like if we take the last 6 to 7 years, I've seen a lot of things catch up to people, right? And why is that? Because they kept putting out negativity, so they got negativity back, right? People that keep pushing the boundaries eventually are going to pay the price, and it's happened many times. And I'm here. I'm not a martyr, and I'm not perfect, But what I can proudly come out here and say is that that dude was going way too fast. Wow. Wow, that's just way too fast. I was looking at him. Like I said, people that push the envelope, eventually it catches up to them. That's what happens. I don't think it is too much to ask people to leave you alone. Well, just Amanda, here's the thing. You can ask people for anything, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. You can be the most reasonable person in the world. Let me come over here and turn on this light. You could be the most reasonable person in the world, the nicest, sweetest person in the world, and reasonably ask someone to leave you alone, and they can choose not to. Because when people are benefiting off of you in some way, shape, or form, and they're used to benefiting off of you in that way, especially monetarily, it doesn't matter what you say, they won't stop. I think we need to do a stream. I think tomorrow's stream will be on how money influences people to do things they normally wouldn't do. Right? Dog play area temporarily closed 318 through 41. Well, it's nowhere near that. Are we talking about this coming March? Oh, maybe that's an old sign. I think this is the temporary dog park. There was actually a dog park like right in here. Let me see. Can we see through there? This is hard to focus. Yeah, they're doing some construction there. It's all good. Dogs must be leashed while entering and exiting the play area. Right, so you can see, this is what a dog park is for. Phil 2112. Phil 2112, how are you doing? You trolling? Phil 2112? What's the exclamation point for? Are you testing to see if you're not blocked, Phil? I feel it is basic human decency. It is. Just Amanda, it absolutely is. The bottom line is that some people, if the only way they can make a decent amount of money is by not leaving you alone, they'll do it. People, we're going to talk about what some people will do to make a buck. Probably tomorrow, that's going to be the next show, because it all boils down to money. Listen, do you think, just Amanda, do you think if it wasn't for people donating and creators making lots of money, do you think people would have kept coming at me for years and still doing it? I mean, just think about it. And some of these people outside of the scope of making money might have common human decency traits. But does that give them a free pass to do away with those common, human decency traits on a platform like YouTube just to exploit someone for money. No, I think that makes them a piece of shit. I think that makes them a horrible person. What it means is that they'll exploit anyone or anything for a buck because they feel they aren't capable of getting attention, traction, or making money otherwise, right? If I was honest, I would say that 75% money and 25% they just don't like you. I don't think they don't. I don't think that people hate me, just Amanda. And if they do, that's on them. I don't think people hate me. I think people hate themselves. Because I've given no one any reason to hate me. I share my opinions. I don't attack people. I don't criticize people unless people are coming at me in ways that are unreasonable. I'll call them out and say maybe it's a mental illness. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they are lacking self-love. That doesn't mean I'm attacking them. It means I'm stating my opinions of why I feel they're doing what they're doing. I didn't say hate. I'm saying they don't like you, and it's perfectly okay. Well, I don't even think that they dislike me. See, Amanda, here's the thing. I don't think these people dislike me. I think it's more of they dislike themselves. And again, if they dislike me, that's fine. It's their choice. I haven't given people a reason to dislike me. Sometimes people feel dislike for others because they wish they could be in a better place, such as the person they dislike. And I'm not talking about a better place financially or anything like that. I'm talking about a better place emotionally, spiritually, and a better place with self-love. You know what I'm saying? I respect what you're saying, just Amanda, but I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it totally real. I don't really think anyone hates me per se. I think it just gives them something to do to mask the pain and misery, to kill the time of their loneliness and boredom. It happened to me. You don't have to do anything to anyone for them to not like you. Well, again, there's a reason why anyone behaves that way, Sandra, and that's because there's something lacking or there's an unresolved trauma. Unresolved trauma and something lacking within, right? Lack of self-love, lack of self-respect, right? Right? Lack of self-worth. The people that react this way and may come off as not liking people like myself or you, Sandra, are lacking self-worth. So if someone doesn't value themselves, how can you expect them to value anyone else? Just Amanda says, true, Sandra. We're 92 minutes, an hour and 32 minutes. Give me a second, be right back. All right, we're back live. We are back live. Just Amanda says, at work, there are people who don't like me, and it's because my morals and values do not align with theirs. I am perfectly okay with it. Just Amanda, let me give you, if it's okay, let me give you a little bit of advice. It's not that they don't like you. It's that they are jealous of the type of person you are, the kind of heart and soul you have, the kind person that you are, and you're probably very good at your work. You're probably efficient. Maybe you make more money than them, but if not, that could matter. But it's not that they dislike you. It's they dislike themselves, because here's the thing. Life is not fair. And at any job, there's always going to be somebody in a higher position than you and making more money than you, right? You have to understand that going in. So if there's, jealousy, and also, if there are guys that are threatened by a woman in power or doing better than them, then that's their problem. They don't hate you. They hate themselves. They don't dislike you. They dislike themselves. Because a happy, healthy, and normal person will just say, hey, I'm here. I have a job to do. I'm going to treat everyone fair and equal. I'm going to treat everyone the way I want to be treated, right? And I'm going to go home and spend time with my family and come back and do it all over again. Nah, no trauma. My friend said she was just jealous of me. I was well liked, had a great relationship with others. I was always nice to her. It was weird to me. Well, Sandra, here's the thing. I respect what you're saying. I more so feel it is the fact that they don't like themselves. And part of that includes jealousy. When jealous behavior is based off of people not liking themselves and projecting that onto you because you have something they want that they're not able to get, at least at this point, right? And I know how you are, Sandra. Honestly, Sandra, honestly, you are a great public relations person. And you're somebody that would be a great PR person for the GNA, and that's something we could talk about down the road. I don't have a problem putting that out there publicly because, Sandra, you're a hell of a public relations person. You're really good at helping people and keeping things on track. And one of the messages I sent you that you didn't hear, I'll say this to you now because you didn't hear those messages I sent. And Tia heard it because I sent the exact same messages to both of you because I trust both of you. I said, look, I respect you, Sandra. You put me in my place at times and I needed it. And you're very good at this public relations thing. And that's something that we really need at the GNA is someone, to, keep it all together, in a public relatable type of way. And you're good at that. You've been doing that, Sandra. Ever since I've known you, you've been trying to help me with that for the last 5 to 6 years. And it's not that I wasn't open to it. It's just that I really wasn't ready at that point for someone to come in and do that. But that's what we needed all along. And I respect you for that. Hey, I'm a fan favorite at the Giants ballpark, true. I never had a problem with anyone. This is all too bad, says just a man. The jealous women bring us all down. Well, jealous people in general bring everyone down. Sandra says, yes, Eli, but you're like Pete. You don't listen. Oh, you remember that. And you didn't listen to me, Pete. Well, Pete didn't listen. He put the Hangouts link in the chat, and one of my trolls went in there and ejected me from the stream. I told Pete in many emails, and I tried to tell Pete in the chat, and Pete put the Hangouts link in the chat, and I went on the panel, and someone else came on the panel and booted me off and blocked me. And it really did trigger me. And you know what? Looking back, I had every right to be triggered because I had told Pete that, hey, I've got a lot of trolls, and if you still want to interview me, just understand what you're dealing with. Please give me the respect I would give you on my channel. There's nothing wrong with that. But it was funny, Sandra, I get it. Well, neither do you sometimes. I understand that, Sandra. You're right. Sandra, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're right about that. Sandra, at this point right now, at 50 years old, I honestly I don't want any drama in my life. And I don't think you do either. And neither do most people, right? So at this point right now, I'm very open to things I probably wasn't as open to years ago. So, when we get the GNA thing going, like I'll put this out publicly. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm the president and founder. Don would be second in charge, vice president of operations. Sandra, you'd be vice president of public relations, and Tia would be, you know, vice president of, I don't know, current affairs or something. Like I can't remember. I have it written down, or I have it typed in on my laptop. Like, I've already got the structure in place. There's been a lot I've been doing because I really want to build this in 2025. And sometime in 2025, I'm hoping to form at least part of the GNA as a 501c3 nonprofit. And there's going to be a for-profit side and a nonprofit side. So that is that. But anyway, we're at 100 minutes, an hour and 40 minutes, and I got to get going. I love all of you. Okay? I love each and every one of you. And, if you've been out here on YouTube for a while, Lauren is back, Real Talk with Lauren. I really hope that does pan out. It's really great to have her back, and she has a psychology degree. And, I'm sure some people will talk about that from the past, and I just don't care. I have not been I've not been paying any attention to any drama, and I'll tell you, I feel so much more relaxed, and I can focus on my shows. But I know there are more of you out there, one by one. Just Amanda is here now, and then we have Wicked Lee, we have Tawny, we've got Sandra, we got Tia, and Real Talk with Lauren came back today. Tomorrow, someone new might come around. This is the GNA membership drive. This is day 2. Tomorrow will be day 3. We're going to keep it going between now and the end of the year, and in 2025. Don and I are going to come back with a bang unlike anything you've seen. Unlike anything you've seen. And I know Sandra and Tia, you got a little bit of an idea of what's going on because you ladies are the vice president, are on the vice president team, the executive team. But yeah, just wait until we go public on some stuff. And lots of other stuff happening behind the scenes that are going to blow people's minds. And one of the best things I've learned to do, and Sandra's going to love this because she's been trying to get me to do this for like 6 years. One of the best things that I've been able to do, and I can do and should do and will do, is keep my fucking mouth shut. And Sandra, when you can agree that the best thing I can do at times is keep my fucking mouth shut, put a big 5 ones in the chat or whatever, and then we can end this thing and go home happily. Sandra's laughing. Hey, Sandra, it only took me 6 years to figure this shit out, right? Maybe I figured it out sooner. I just wasn't ready to agree to it yet. LOL, Eli, says Tia. Well, all the loose ends will come together, says Sandra. Yeah, great show. Thanks, Eli. Have a good night, all. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Just Amanda. Thank you, Sandra Palacio. Thank you, Tia. Thank you, Real Talk with Lauren, and anyone else I was watching behind the scenes. Thanks, and have a wonderful evening. You're welcome, Just Amanda. 103 minutes. Night, Amanda, says Sandra Palacio. 103 minutes, an hour and 43 minutes. About to turn to an hour and 44 minutes. With that being said, folks, have a good one. Tomorrow I'm going to walk earlier from the trail. And we're going to talk about money. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the negative effects money has on people and what people will do to make money nowadays. Day 3 of the GNA membership drive and the GNA Positivity Pledge coming tomorrow. With that being said, have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. Good night, everyone.